let's run through the good, bad, and the ugly of Genesis Noir, fresh out of the development oven for our eyes and ears to feast on. Hey guys, it's Cody with Indie Game Pulse. If you want to find the newest and best indie games and hear genuine reviews from an indie game fanatic like yourself, click subscribe and the notification bell to make sure you don't miss another video. I was given a review copy of this game, but have done my best to stay objective in my review. To start us off, the strongest suits of Genesis Noir are its striking black and white visuals and cool jazz soundtrack. This artistic style is truly something I'm not used to, and in today's indie landscape, that's really saying something. The black backgrounds with strikes and dashes of white, and the occasional glint of gold to make up characters, buildings, and otherworldly landscapes is contrary to how we usually see things drawn, and it really fits the theme here of something from nothing. Each character is easily recognizable and interesting as well, from your character, the No Man, who is a watch peddler / world origin investigator, to his apparent love interest, Miss Mass, a voluptuous singer, and finally to Golden Boy, the other romantic interest of Miss Mass, as well as a stellar saxophonist. An interstellar saxophonist, perhaps? While there is no narration or text dialogue, the way these relationships unfold is charming and mysterious, and kept me hooked as I traveled through Earth and Cosmos for answers. Answers to what, you might be asking? And I'm still asking that myself. These characters are all tied up in metaphor relating to the Big Bang Theory, and you must find clues in the stars and in space to be able to create or destroy a black hole, which is equated to a gunshot fired at Miss Mass. I'm not going to spoil the story, but that's as much as I feel like I can give you. To me, the story falls under the good and bad categories for Genesis Noir, as I really appreciate the visual storytelling that occurs in about 95% of the game. The way the characters speak without talking, by their body language, by their expressions, is so well done and fun to watch and try to interpret. And even interacting with the side characters is exciting, but we'll get to the bad of the storytelling in just a minute. One last good note that I'll leave you with is the variety of gameplay. While this isn't considered a visual novel, there is not much in the way of gameplay either, aside from point-and-click puzzles and a few object hunts, but I never felt like any of these sections overstayed their welcome, and there is plenty of variety and experimentation in the game. It is a rather linear affair, again in line with the deterministic theme of the game, but I enjoyed the different puzzles and discovery sections quite a lot. Now for the bad, guys, and please don't let this scare you from playing the game, but it's not quite what I expected, unfortunately. For a story-rich adventure, the story itself is quite hard to follow at times, and for me this comes down to the exposition dumps between chapters. The game straight up gives you a couple paragraphs about how the world was started by the Big Bang, and all the processes which came to be, and instead of adding to the game's lore and world building, it instead felt like I was being prompted to read my college textbooks again, and really kind of drew me out of the immersive feeling in Genesis Noir. These texts aren't spoken by any character, they don't really help to add to the story in my opinion, and they feel very distracting. I get that the characters are supposed to be metaphors or representations of metaphysical things that are hard to understand, but it just didn't help me understand them better to dump theoretical science on me. But maybe some people will enjoy that. I'll mention one more bad thing and then we'll get to the ugly. I mentioned the variety of gameplay and different types of puzzles and discovery minigames earlier as a positive, but the execution of them is where the gameplay starts to suffer. So many of the ideas in this game dealing with creation, high-level physics, and so on are over my head, even as someone with a bachelor's degree in biology, and the puzzles especially are so abstract that most of the time it felt like guesswork, and didn't provide much meaningful context to the story. Maybe they were made to make me feel like I'm in over my head, as I often do when considering the origin of the world and space and the cosmos, but again, they felt less like something to be learned and more like something to struggle through and hope to get lucky with at times. Some of them are well done, and I won't deny that maybe half of them I enjoyed and felt connected well to the story, but the other half just felt like an interruption, and even more so when I felt like I was struggling through them. And there's strangely no reset button on the puzzling sections. Sometimes I felt like I just needed to give my brain and the screen a refresh, but I couldn't. And lastly, let's talk about the ugly, or should I say the bugly, of Genesis Noir.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm reviewing the game in its fully released state, and there are several bugs and hiccups here, from not being able to interact with highlighted objects, to a puzzle bugging out and not allowing you to finish and proceed past. And the biggest bug honestly occurred during this puzzle here, twice in fact, where the yellow stars didn't reach far enough out and unlock the black portions, meaning I was firstly unable to complete the puzzle, which I didn't know at the time, and then the game, having mercy on my stupid soul, crashed and reset me to the cutscene before the puzzles, which takes about 5 minutes to get back through. And this happened twice. This chapter alone took me 45 minutes to an hour, and I think they're only meant to take 10 to 20 minutes apiece. At this point, had it not been for reviewing the game, I honestly would have turned it off and watched reviews or gameplay, which is maybe why some of you are here too. I don't want to harp too much on the bugs, but when the reset point is 10 to 15 minutes back, and there's no puzzle reset button, it is pretty frustrating. With all that said, I have seen the developers very active in responding to bugs and comments in the Steam reviews especially, so it seems like these will be taken care of shortly and hopefully will not distract from the gameplay for too much longer. To sum it all up, Genesis Noir is a beautiful game about a love affair between gods, the expanses of time, and a supreme amount of physics. It is a beauty and a very unique game that I'm honestly thankful I had the opportunity to play. It's one I've looked forward to for a long time, but ultimately, like the Earth, it falls a little flat. That's a joke, guys. The game certainly does excel in its visual storytelling and crafting an intriguing and enticing world, and the story it tells without words is certainly an enjoyable ride, as deterministic as it is. That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you very much to my 488 subscribers for your support, and I look forward to getting to know more of you soon. For more top indie game countdowns and reviews, check out the videos on your screen now, and I'll see you on the other side.